Something changes in many women between the ages of 35 and 45, but people rarely talk about it honestly. For years, she might be focused on home, children, and routine, cooking, school runs, family plans. Then suddenly her behavior shifts. She starts caring more about how she looks, spends extra time on her phone, joins the gym, posts more selfies, or becomes unusually active on social media. Her husband watches this and quietly wonders, what happened? Why is she so different now? A big part of this shift comes from how society treats women. From a very young age, girls are taught that their value is tied to beauty and being desired. For a long time, through their 20s and early 30s, this works in their favor. They get attention, compliments, and interest wherever they go. It becomes part of their identity. Then time does what it always does. She looks in the mirror at 40 and doesn't see the same face she had at 22. She doesn't necessarily look bad, she just looks older. Meanwhile, the world constantly praises youth and glow-ups and tells women that getting older means becoming less visible, less special, less wanted. This can create a kind of identity crisis. If feeling desirable was a big part of how she measured her worth, losing that attention hurts deeply. It's not just about vanity, it's about, who am I now if I'm not the young, attractive woman I used to be? At the same time, life circumstances change. The kids are older and more independent. She has more free time, more mental space, and more opportunity to think about herself. She starts comparing her reality, bills, routine, responsibilities, with other people's highlight reels on social media. She sees glow up after divorce, starting over at 40, new love in midlife, and starts wondering if she's missing out. Often, a few patterns appear. Nostalgia for the past. She talks more about her old self, her single days or exes, not with embarrassment, but with a kind of longing. It's less about those people and more about missing who she was back then. Increased focus on appearance, new skincare, stricter diets, gym membership, different clothes, cosmetic procedures she once said she'd never do. Sometimes this is healthy self-care. Sometimes it's driven by fear of aging. New influences. She may spend more time with friends who are divorced or starting over, who encourage her to prioritize her happiness above all else. Normal marital problems can start to look through this lens, like reasons to leave rather than things to work through. Online validation, social media becomes a constant comparison machine. Likes, comments, and messages can feel like proof that she's still attractive, still seen. One kind compliment from a stranger can feel more exciting than years of steady affection from her husband, simply because it's new and unexpected. If a particular person starts giving her consistent attention, a coworker, an online friend, someone from the gym, that can become the face of the fantasy. It's less about that individual and more about what they represent. Proof that she is still wanted and still has options. If she is already unhappy or restless, this can push the marriage into a danger zone. It's important to understand, not every woman reacts this way, and not every midlife shift leads to cheating or divorce. Some women use this period to grow in healthier ways, learning new skills, deepening their faith, working on their marriage, starting meaningful projects, or accepting aging with grace. But for others, the fear of becoming invisible can be powerful. If no one ever taught her that her worth is more than her looks, or that long-term commitment naturally feels less exciting than something new, she may chase feelings instead of stability. She might rewrite the past to justify big decisions. I was never really happy. I was always pretending, even if there were many genuinely good years. From the husband's side, this all feels like sudden betrayal. He remembers choosing her when she was young, building a life together, staying loyal. He doesn't understand how someone can walk away from years of shared history for the temporary high of feeling desired again. The hard truth is that this stage of life is an emotional crossroads for many women. They are dealing with aging, changing bodies, shifting hormones, grown children, social pressure, and a culture that glorifies starting over more than staying committed. Not all women blow up their lives at 40. Many don't. But some do make destructive choices when they can't accept getting older or when they confuse excitement with real meaning. For men, the realistic takeaways are: pay attention when she becomes deeply anxious about aging and obsessed with outside validation. Understand that this is often more about her internal struggle with time and self-worth than about you personally. Protect your emotional and practical stability if you see serious red flags, instead of blaming yourself for decisions you didn't make. Midlife can either deepen a relationship or destroy it. It depends a lot on whether both partners learn to see themselves and each other as more than just young, attractive, and exciting, and whether they value what they built more than the temporary rush of being wanted by someone new.